Hello, hi everyone, and welcome again to this new office hours for the EU. My name is Gaetano Orsomanno and I'm part of the Alexa Developer Advocacy Group here in the EU. Welcome again. This is a session that we usually do every 2 weeks, but last week we cancelled it because there was a bit of overlap with the Alexa Live event for that I really hope that you enjoyed. I really like it and looking forward to try all the new features and etc. Just a quick sound check. How is the audio? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Just give me a feedback please so that we can move on. I have a few things that I like to share with you, but first if you can just give me a feedback on the audio, that would be great. That's officially the week after Alexa Live, so a lot of features have been sent out, so I can't wait to get my hands dirty on that. I'm starting to receive some feedbacks. Hello, hi AW Hitters and DJMKY. Thanks for confirming that the audio is loud and clear, so that we can move on. Welcome again. We are streaming simultaneously on Twitch and YouTube, so I will be monitoring both of the chats. Alright, so this is going to be a free form kind of session, so I have a few things that I'd like to share with you, but if you want me to, if you have any questions or concerns to raise for which I can help, please do not hesitate to write it in the chat, so I'll see what I can do and how can I help. Alright, so let's start to, I have a few things to share as I said. So I'm from the, as I mentioned, if this is the first time that you see this session, I'm from the Alexa Developer Advocacy Group, which is the team that is behind the Contact Us page, basically. Actually, we have a few channels. One of them is the Contact Us page that I've just mentioned, but you also have the developer forum, which got recently migrated to a new platform, so it should be way more responsive and fast. We are already receiving a few feedbacks, very positive feedbacks around the usage of the forum, so be sure to check it out. This is the link for our main contact pages, contact channels. So we did migrate the forum, but it's still accessible at the same link. So if you go on alexa.design/forum or alexa.design contact us, you will be able to contact us. All right. So speaking of Developer Advocacy Group, which is the let's say acronym of DAG, we have released a video on our Alexa Developers YouTube channel this week, which is indeed about how to contact us. So I like to share it with you. It's been published on Monday from it is starring our Biz DAG member Elena, which is this video here is called basically how to contact the Alexa Developer Advocacy Group. And this is my colleague Elena showing and explaining what are the best way to contact us. I will share the link in the chat, so you can have a look at it and get more insights on who the Alexa Developer Advocacy Group is and how to reach out to us. Let me share this in the chat. Yes, so it is basically an overview about how to reach our channels in different ways. You can do it via the developer portal itself after logging in with your Amazon developer account, but also there are some direct links that you can find in the description here. And yeah, that was it for the updates regarding videos. Let me know if you have any question about it. But another thing that I'd like to share with you is still around external content that we published, is an enhancement that I personally made to the quite famous, I have to say right now, Alexa fact skills for Node.js, which was called Space Facts, which as you might have understood or seen already, it's a skill that lets you, it's basically a fact skill that says a random fact around space, planets, and etc. But it was, let's say, as easy as that. There was no additional, let's say, interaction or presentation that the skill would do. It would just say the fact and that's it. But what I did was adding basically APL to it. What I mean by that is basically adding this. So now for every fact that you ask to the skill, there will be an APL document rendered. That's basically the pull request. There will be an APL document rendered, and the fact that Alexa says will be shown on the screen in a text component. So I did some very, say, basic changes. So first thing is that I've of course created an APL layout that has basically an image and text. So the image would be parameterized with the URL of the picture that I want to load according to the fact that Alexa will pick randomly, and then the text component will receive the fact string, which is the actual fact that will be retrieved from the array of strings. What I did was adding pretty much an array of strings containing all the URLs, and when the user is asking for a fact, the interceptor here, so the localization interceptor, is pretty much generating a random value and using the same value to retrieve the fact and URL of the pictures. So it means that in the fact array, the first element is related to a fact about Mercury. Same for Venus, Mars, Jupiter, the Sun, etc., etc. So it's pretty neat. It looks very good. I can quickly demo it to you so you can see how it looks. I have feedback in the chat. So says screen share is blurry for me. Actually, I'm streaming at 1080p, so that should be fine. Can you try to? Well, are you following us from a laptop or a mobile device? Just try to refresh the page and maybe scale down the quality to maybe 720 on 480p, which are not that blurry, but at least you can read the text, and maybe your laptop will not buffer. So welcome Gold Zulu. Hey folks, what are we doing today? So so Gold Zulu is a recurring viewer, so welcome again. What we're doing is showing an enhancement that I made to the Alexa Node.js fact skill, and yeah, so basically now it's the usual fact skill that we had on the Alexa samples repository, right? But I just added multimodal capabilities to it, meaning that for each fact that Alexa will load, will choose or select, there will be a picture adding additional context, and the actual fact will be written on the screen into a text component, and that was basically walking you guys through how I did that. And yeah, let me do a quick recap. I just added an APL document.json file, which has a picture and text, and then it's retrieving both the URL of the picture and the actual fact from the data sources. And then I've added this planet URLs array that contains pretty much the pictures. So it's hosted on S3, and you know, there are pictures of planets plus the sun. And I wanted to show here how it looks. So I went on my developer portal, for which I had, as you can see, a lot of skills. But let's load this one, Space Facts. Meanwhile, I'm happy to see that the resolution issue has been fixed with just a setting change. Thank you. Let me have a look at the YouTube chat meanwhile as well. Looks like there's nothing there. Right, so yeah, let's quickly show you how it looks like. It's loading. And how about you guys? Let me know what are you up to, and what are you working on so far? So would be interesting to know. Okay, I'm not going to use the German one because I don't speak German. Let's use English US and open space facts. Facts, I guess.
Here's your fact. Despite being farther from the sun,
okay.
Venus experiences higher temperatures than Mercury.
That's what I was referring to. Let me take this off. So I asked for, I just opened up the skill, and instead of just saying the fact, Alexa is finding that this device supports to display, because I mean that's the developer, the simulator, but on a non-screen enabled device we just say the fact. But if the device supports APL and the display, it shows this. I could also ask for another fact, so I'll say, tell me a space fact, and should load another picture in theory.
Here's your fact.
Yes.
A year on Mercury is just
So
88 days long.
That's another fact, basically. All right, so that's pretty much it. Let me know if you have any questions, or yeah, just let me know what are you working on, and if you want me to cover something. Right. Meanwhile, we have a new joiner on a new viewer on the YouTube chat. Hello, Shara Neo. Let me know if I pronounce your name good. Welcome to the stream. I was showing an enhancement that I made to the Alexa fact skill, and yeah, I was showing how I did the implementation, but also how it looks. So welcome. Okay, so that was it. You will find it. So my pull request has already been merged into the actual main branch. So yeah, you will be able to clone the repository and try it. Actually, you can also, there is no need to clone it or things like that and then deploy it. If you're using an Alexa hosted skill, you could yeah, let's take this opportunity to show you how it will work. So you can copy the entire GitHub URL here, and then when you can import it into an Alexa hosted skill. So yeah, you press create skill and then give it your name, new space facts. Select English US, because I think there is only an interaction model for the US one, but you can then create skill, and then there should be an import button. Yes, import skill. You paste this and press import, and the Alexa hosted skills environment will do all the job for you. So it will download the repository and deploy it into a new Alexa hosted skill. That's pretty neat. Before this feature, your only solution left was to use the CLI. So literally downloading, cloning the repository with the git clone command, cd into the folder, and run the deploy command, so that it will be deployed under under your developer console. But now we have this pretty neat feature, so there is no longer need to use the CLI. Of course, you can then work with the CLI after you did the import, because the Ask CLI works with the can work with Alexa hosted skills as well. There is a question from Gold Zulu. So, if you have an existing skill, how do you make it into an importable template? That's something that I did with my APL Playground tool. So I can show you how the structure should look like. So this is the bare minimum. So you need to have the Lambda and the skill package, which is basically the folder structure that the Ask CLI v2 will create for you. Yeah, it has to have a Lambda and a skill package folder. What's that about? I don't remember. Yes, this one as well. The README, I've added it just to make it appear here in GitHub, but it's not a hard requirement. So as long as you have those two folders, you should be able to import it into an Alexa hosted skill. But if you have a subfolder, for example, that would not work. So let's say that this is the actual skill. If I would import this, so APL Playground 3 main Lambda, so the Alexa hosted skill environment would not recognize it as an actual, let's say, working and compatible repository. So Gold Zulu, you should stick to this one, because at the end of the day, you will have your assets. If you're using Lambda, I mean, I guess, since you're using Alexa hosted, since you're using Lambda, all of your, let's say, assets or additional JSON files or external dependency will be in this folder. So I don't see why you would have a requirement to have them outside the Lambda folder. There is a question from the JMKI. How do we integrate the hosted S3 folder image in a similar project space? Do we need to access sign each image? Okay, so that's a good question. So the are you referring? So I guess you're referring to the S3 bucket that it's provided to you with the Alexa hosted skills environment. So the question is, yes, you can do this. We can try, actually. I think I've already done something like this before. So let me see if I have, actually maybe I can add them here. Okay, thanks for confirming. I think you have 5 gigabytes of S3. Yeah, this one I was using, this one was using AWS, okay, hosted skill, let's see this one. S3 storage. Okay, I have some audios here, but I think it should work for pictures as well. Okay, 1 second. I think I have a fact skill in an Alexa hosted environment, so that I can do it live for you, so you can see how it works. Yes, that's correct. So you cannot put. I'm seeing some conversations in the chat, which is always good to see. Like I like when the community interacts among each other. So yeah, that's correct. You cannot set those ones. So I'm using, as you can see, the voice hub, the S3 bucket provided by the Alexa hosted environment. So you cannot go on this and press make public, because you don't have the, well, it says you don't have the permission because this is a kind, basically an underlying AWS account that yeah, would not let you to use this object publicly. But what you can do, what you need to do is retrieve the public URL, so the public, so not the public, the pre-signed URL, and then you need to pass it to the data sources of the file. Sorry, of the render document directive. Let me see if this is something that I can do it for you. I just need to select the right skill to do that, because as you might have seen, I have a bunch. Maybe a skill that already has the APL interface and things like that. So I'm checking as we speak. So you're saying I have my skill set up just like the space skill, where I pass the image URL for each one in a JSON. Okay, that's a good question. So I think we can take the example of space facts. Okay, actually let's go to the pull request that I did, so that I can show you how you could do the same but using Alexa hosted skills. Let me see. 14 days ago, lambda index, okay, no, APL document.json. Okay, let me see where I'm referencing it. So APL document.json. Okay, so do you see this Alexa presentation and the document directive? So what you should do in Alexa hosted skills environment is put the document as the APL document that you want to load, which, as you might have seen already, it's in the Lambda folders. Sorry, in the Lambda custom folder. So in the same, pretty much same path of the index.js. But here, instead of passing fact image for the image, you would pass the pre-signed URL that you have basically generated via the utils function. In this case, I'm passing the yeah, I'm doing some mechanism. I have a mechanism here to retrieve a random image URL from this array, but these are public links, so it's very easy to do. There is no need to retrieve any pre-signed URL, but what you need to do is, instead, when you put data sources into your render document directive, do not pass a plain string, because you cannot, because as I said, they're not public. But what you can do is pass the pre-signed URL in here. I hope that, I mean, I'm just guessing that the APL document that you are loading is parameters referring to data sources. What I mean is that you see here I have my image component, but the source doesn't have the URL hard-coded. I'm retrieving it from, so I'm setting it dynamically from the render document directive. If you're doing this, then this approach is correct. But if you had an idea of hard coding the source, like the URL in here, then you would need to retrieve this JSON object in memory and then, drill down into the JSON to swap this with the pre-signed URL. But I would not say that's a best practice, because if you need to change the structure of the APL layout, then you will need to change the code to reflect the new structure of the JSON. I would not suggest you to do that. Instead, link it to a place into the we did the binding, and then you add the URL there. I hope that answered your question, but let me know if you think that we should maybe create an external facing example. We can look into that, because actually I don't think it's the first time that we got this question. I think it makes sense to do it. Should you still have issues with this approach, feel free to write into the Slack channel, which is available here. I'm gonna paste it, or open a contact us case right on the forum. however you feel more comfortable, and I'll do my best to help. But that's pretty much what you should do. Okay, let me have a look at the chat again. Yeah, you say I can't seem to change those images into public access. That's expected. And to answer the Gold Zulu question about the how do you make your GitHub repository importable, I hope that answered your question as well. But do let me know. Should you have question and you have should you still have issues with a GitHub repository that you're not able to import, just share it with me and I'll try to have a look. Another requirement for that I forgot is that of course the repository that you're importing must be public. It doesn't currently support any GitHub authentication, so we are just assuming that what you are importing is publicly available. So if you have a private repository, I'm sorry, but that's not possible. Okay, let me have a look at the chat again. DJ MKI is saying, I have data binded like yours. Yes, then that is perfect, because you can keep your code with so you can keep your APL document as is, and then if you need to add a different picture, you don't need to change the document every time. You just need to make sure that the render document directive has the right data sources that you would have already retrieved from with the utils function. Looking to transfer Luma Media to S3 Alexa OS3. 25 gigabytes is awesome. Yes. I forgot to mention that we recently increased this. Let me see if this was mentioned into the Alexa Live. Yeah, it's already reflecting into the documentation as well. So, yeah, feel free to move everything over Alexa hosting skills. Just make sure to use the to use your media correctly with the entire utils function, etc., etc. Actually, we must have an entire tech talks saying how to retrieve the media from Alexa hosted. So Alexa hosted skills, media usage. Yes, use media file with your Alexa hosted skill. That's it. This explains everything pretty much. There is also some sample code for Python and Node.js, which are of course the programming languages that are available for Alexa hosted environments. Okay, Gold Zulu, thanks for clarifying. On the import repository question, if my skill is already being used to send to my Lambda using AWS credential, it is stored in the directory. How do we clean it up so I'm not exposing my ARR resources? I think .ask have to be removed, but do we have to clean the ask resources.js? Okay, that's a good question. What I didn't understand, so my understanding is that you are using your AWS credentials, hence your private AWS account and your Lambda function. The Alexa hosted environment would not be able to retrieve the code from your Lambda function, of course, because it's in your account, so it's not public. So my question would be to you: are you planning to move everything from AWS account into Alexa hosted? Because if you just import your GitHub repository, the code will not ported over. if your Lambda function is hosted in AWS. So I'm confused about this. Just saying during Ask Deploy, several directories are created. Let's do like this. Is your repository already live or public? Because if you already tried, that's my question. Did you get any error or just generic ones? Because I might need to like looking into it, like to see how it is structured and everything. So okay, when I commit to my GitHub, it will store extra directories. Yes, because you are pretty much doing, so you are publishing the entire work directory to GitHub. So I guess that's the reason why there are extra directories. But if you have a look at this one, can you tell me how many folders you have except those at this level? So in the root of the project, because that's key to make the import working. And yeah, if you're still struggling to doing this, just try to post this into the forum or on Slack, so we'll be able to help you. Because if there is a problem into the import, I might reach out to our internal team, and I could have a look at it. Okay, thanks for sharing your repository. So, did you try to import and that didn't work? Is that it? No, I don't think you have included too many directories, but what I usually do is that if I have a dependency, I'll try to add it into the Lambda folder, so that all the, let's say that the root of the repository always has Lambda and then skill package. But if the Alexa hosted skill environment does so if you actually see your folders here after the import in the Alexa hosted skill environment, then I'll say you're okay. So should be fine. If there is something missing though, then we might have to dive deeper into it. That's why I ask you to maybe open up a case or write in Slack. Okay, there are questions that I might have missed. So I see the precise URL is only valid for 60 seconds. Does this mean there could be an issue with the audio player skill playing a long duration MP3? I believe the Alexa devices retrieve the MP3 in chunks. If a chunk is accessed after 60 seconds, then would that fail as the URL is no longer valid? Yeah, that's a very, very good question. So the timeout is definitely 60 seconds. I do not know if you do an enqueue in an audio player, how would it work? I need to get back to you on that. Let me write it down as a feedback. 1 second. So if you can provide like, if you can elaborate more on the use case, because my understanding is that you're using audio player and you're loading one big MP3 file that you are still expecting to run or to be played back after 60 seconds, which is very understandable, because if you're playing something very long, you should not stop in 60 seconds. But yeah, I'll have to look into it and let you know. Iris is also saying you're expiring 60 seconds. You can't override the expiration. Yeah, that's hard coded basically. There is no way to make it last longer. Okay, so you say I have an audio player skill and one track lasts for 2 hours. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to get back on you on that. Would you mind to open up a case mentioning that you asked this into the EU stream? I can put our contacts here. You can write to contact us. You can mention my name as well. It's fine. So it would be I can pick it up faster. Yeah, I need to check with our internal Alexa Hostess Skills team because that's as it's written here, it's not possible to be overridden. So I need to see how Alexa should behave when there is a very long when you need to access this file for like a given file for a longer time, like an audio, for example. So Gold Zulu is suggesting something. Params.expires. I've seen this in when using like my own S3 and on AWS, but I don't think that the utility function would let you do that. I mean, it's also written here. In theory, as I showed to you already before, on S3 you will have the entire the entire AWS S3 interface and everything, but there are some things that you cannot do, like make it public. Did you try this already? Because it's not supposed to work, but I mean there is always something to learn. So AW hitters, if you try this and it works, I guess you fix your issue. Otherwise, feel free to write. But however, I don't think it will work. Okay, thanks for confirming. Did you get any error or just the Alexa Hostess skill environment like ignore the parameter and then cut your audio? I'm curious to know that because I mean I never tried an Alexa Hostess skill environment because I mean I knew that there was a 60-second limit. But yeah, I'll be curious to know what was the outcome of that. Okay, actually there is also something else that I'm not sharing the screen. There is also something else that I'd like to share. I'm not sure if you've noticed, but we have added the APL 1.7 is out since last week, and for every APL release now we will be reporting known bugs and breaking changes, and it will be no longer done into a forum post, but we will be using the official tech docs, and you can access this from here. I'll share this into the chat as well. So here you will have the current known issues, which are stated here, and also breaking changes, like something that the new release has broken, and we realized and have a fix in plan for that. So for APL 1.7 there's this one, and also we have added a last updated on page here. This has been updated last week, during the Alexa Live Day, which is when we also announced the new APL 1.7. So if you have any issues with this, or you're using APL 1.7 and something is not working anymore, make sure to consult this page. So as I said, it's no longer in the forum; it's going to be here to be used. Let me know what you think. Meanwhile, the conversation around S3 continues, as I can see from the chat. Let me have a look on the YouTube chat as well. Okay, nothing here. So yeah, so the thing that it didn't work, it's expected. I did try once to use this with my own personal S3 bucket, and it works. Actually, on AWS S3, you can set the expiration with a date. So when you generate the URL, you can put in the parameters like expires in, and then the actual date from which you want the link to not work anymore. But in Alexa Hosted, that's not possible. Sorry. Maybe the native AWS SDK S3 might work. Yeah, that's what I was mentioning. I guess that would work as well. Okay, take note of this page, because it will be regularly updated, and you will see last updated page here as well. I collected this feedback from the Slack channel. There was some developer that was asking to have a last updated on page in here, so that you can kind of understand how old is the page and if it's up to date or not. So let me close this one. Okay, let's spend a few minutes on the roundup of releases for Alexa Live. So is there anything that is exciting you especially? So I'm planning to do like an extra session on some maybe APL 1.7 features anything that you like to see from Alexa Live. So my specialization is, let's say, multimodal experience. Multimodal interactions. So I will be more than happy to demo something from the new features of Alexa Live. What I like to get my hands dirty on as soon as possible is APL widgets. That's something that it's a developer preview, so you might need to ask and fill up a survey for it. But it's very, very the fact that you can have your APL stuff in the home screen, and then you can remind the user that there is something there is also that there is something from your skill that you can resume, and provide some additional context of what happened in the previous interaction. It's literally blowing my mind, so I cannot wait to try them out, so that every APL developer can do it. So I see a message from Tapster, +1. Do you mean you like to see a session around APL widgets, or it's just that excites you as well? Because I might take notes and maybe prepare a session just for that. Because after Alexa Live, we have a bunch of features that to be entirely honest, I still didn't wrap my head around, because it's a lot of interesting stuff widgets. So I take your yes as you like to see a session. Let me note it down. APL widgets. Just for my curiosity, Tapster, have you created any APL skill before that you can share. So I'll really like to have a look and maybe start thinking around a widget that that we can maybe create together in a session. And also let me know if this time, so I'm streaming at 4 p.m. UK time. Let me know if that's still good for you, because I was thinking to maybe move it in the EU morning, so 9 a.m. UK time, 10 a.m. Central Europe time. Yeah, let me know what you think. Okay, I've noted this. There we go, APL widgets. Let's have a look at them. Yes, so for if you have missed Alexa Live, let me paste the release roundup link in the chat, so you can have a look. It's here. So yeah, we were talking about APL widgets. So look, they are interactive APL documents displayed on the home screen of multimodal devices. So yeah, you can maybe literally enhance your skill experience and you know, attract your user by saying, hey, look at that, this is something that you this is a recap of the last interaction you had. Please like return, if you want to return to your skill, this is what I can do. And here is saying for Prime Video, for example, episode 2 of Jack Ryan is now ready for viewing. It's clearly referring to the Prime Video app, Prime Video skill, so that the user is aware that there is something going on in the skill. If you think about a multimodal game, you could like show here that there is a new level available, or your user has silently leveled up, and things like that. Yeah, I'll do my best to get enabled on this as soon as possible, but please do the same. There is the form is available here for APL widgets, so fill it up, and we will do our best to reply as soon as possible. I've seen some developers from Jack Blackenberg's stream yesterday saying that they got enabled in less than 24 hours. So notable APL widget, I can't remember which features we're referring to, but still, it should be a fairly quick process. And here's a blog about every APL features announced as well at Alexa Live. So finally, APL for audio is generally available. It's been in beta for at least, say, 1 year and something. And now you can use it in your reprompt as well. I wasn't able to see if we already have, SDK native functions for that, like .reprompt. But yeah, I'll have a look into it. Yeah, a lot of stuff as well. So you can use high fidelity output, so audio that is sampled at 44.1 kilohertz, which is CD kind of studio quality, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's an audio response as well. Some visual thing as well, so you can set a property of an APL component to sticky, so that it will not disappear from the view unless it's moved all the way up from another component in a sequence, for example. I'm not sure how is the frame rate, because I'm on a stream, but I guess you understand the concept. And in fact, it's using a sequence. I didn't even see it before. Where's the sticky one? Sticky header, position relative. Yes. So green. Yeah, I guess the first one is the one that, I mean, it's something that you apply to the sequence. Yeah, position sticky. So it's the frame that is around the component. So since the frame is holding the text, it makes sense to make it sticky. So it will not disappear unless you move everything all the way up. Okay, I see in the chat Gonzalo is still. Thanks for trying all of this. He's asking if you could change in utils.js, the Lambda folder. I guess you're still referring to the Alexa hosted skills environment. To change 60 times 1 to 60 times 5. So to make it like 300 seconds, I guess, to see if it works. Yeah, do let me know. I'm not sure how like strict this limit has been implemented. Maybe if it's server side, I'm afraid that it will not work. Yeah, moving on to this new text styling features. This is something that I was waiting for as well, given also the deprecation of render template, because before that you could not do this into a single text, but it's something that it was doable in a render template. For example, if you had a text, you could use HTML tags or something very similar to have different styles within the same sentence. But now with APL 1.7, this is finally available. So this is these are the tags that you should use, and yeah, you can have different colors, different style. You can have it bold. Yeah, sky is the limit here. What else? Right to left layouts for Arabic. So we actually do support a new language. So and also right to left kind of written, like writing. So as you can see, if you set the layout direction to RTL, so right to left, then you will be able to 100% support the Arabic language or any language that starts from right to left. And this is supported in the Alexa headline as well. So you just need to put the layout direction to RTL. Widget already covered, and yeah, it's also mentioning again the display template retirement. There is an entire blog post for that. I mean, I can paste that in the chat as well. So the deprecation has been set for the 30th of August. So yeah, the end of August. Yeah, 31st. So 31st of August, and yeah, you have plenty of tools and resources to do that. Make sure you do it before the end of next month. Otherwise, your skill might, generate a broken experience for developers. Okay, we have just a few minutes left. I'd like to have a look at the chat as well. I've written down that some of you might be interested into an entire session dedicated to maybe half an hour, 45 minutes. Maybe it should not be a full hour, but about APL widgets. I'll do the same. I'll try to do one session. I'm not sure if this week or 2 sessions next week. I'll need to figure this out. Meanwhile, yeah, back on the limit here. Thanks for raising the case, and yeah, I'll provide this feedback to the Alexa hosted skills team, because I do agree that it's kind of defeats the purpose, but yeah, I'll have to look into it. And thanks for confirming that the issue is server side as well, and also thanks Hey Witters for opening up a case. I'll have a look at it as soon as possible. All right, so thank you very much for joining the session, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.